Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into a political breakup that has been decades in the making. It's the kind of split that could send tremors through South Africa's political landscape ahead of the 2026 national elections. We're talking about the National Union of Mineworkers, the NUM, finally cutting ties with its longtime political partner, the African National Congress. Now, for anyone who's followed South African politics over the last 30 years, the ANC-NUM relationship was almost unshakable. The union didn't just stand by the ANC, it was one of the key pillars of its support base, particularly in the mining industry. Back in the liberation days and the early years of democracy, they were shoulder to shoulder, fighting for worker rights, political freedom, and economic justice. But in politics, as in life, even the strongest relationships can break down when trust is eroded. At a press conference in Johannesburg, NUM President Daniel Bipile announced that the union was walking away from the ANC after decades of loyalty. His reasons were clear and unapologetic: the ANC, in their view, has abandoned the workers, ignored their cries for help, and allowed corruption to run rampant. Unemployment is rising, mines are shutting down, and while ordinary miners are losing their jobs, political leaders are, as Bipile put it, getting richer. That's not exactly the kind of testimony you want from your oldest political ally. The fallout here could be enormous. The NUM isn't just any union. In provinces like Limpopo, Northwest, and Mpumalanga, areas where mining isn't just an industry but the heartbeat of local economies, the union has deep roots. We're talking about thousands of members who have traditionally been a reliable voting bloc for the ANC. If NUM throws its weight behind another party, or even just encourages its members to reconsider their choices, it could cause real damage to the ANC's election prospects. And the ANC knows it. Party spokesperson Malenji Bengumatsiri responded with visible disappointment, urging for renewed talks and emphasizing the historic bonds between the ANC and NUM. She reassured that the party remains committed to addressing worker concerns. But the reality is, it's not easy to convince someone you still care after years of perceived neglect. NUM's decision is not the type of symbolic protest you can ignore. This is an organized, influential body breaking away on principle. Interestingly, NUM hasn't pledged its allegiance to any other political party just yet. But it has signaled that it's open to working with parties that prioritize economic and worker rights. That puts several players in the running, from smaller labor-focused groups to the economic freedom fighters, who have built much of their identity around fighting for workers and the unemployed. If Julius Malema and the EFF can win over NUM, it could open the door to a new alliance that might seriously challenge the ANC in key regions. The symbolism of this split is just as important as the potential political numbers. For decades, trade unions and the ANC were two branches of the same tree. NUM's departure suggests that the old alliance model may be breaking down. This isn't just a political divorce, it's a sign that the ANC's traditional base is fragmenting, and once a base begins to fracture, it's very difficult to put it back together. The timing couldn't be worse for the ANC. With the 2026 elections just around the corner, they're already juggling internal divisions, coalition tensions, and an electorate that's far less forgiving than it used to be. Losing NUM's support could be a turning point, especially if other unions start questioning their own loyalty. And you can bet that opposition parties will be using this as ammunition, portraying the ANC as a party that has lost touch with the very people it claims to represent. From NUM's perspective, this is about more than politics. It's about credibility with their members. Imagine being a union leader and having to tell miners who've lost their jobs that you still support the government that oversaw the closures. It's not a sustainable position. NUM's leadership has chosen to draw a line in the sand, and in doing so, they've rebranded themselves as an independent force in South African politics. Now, of course, there's always the possibility of reconciliation. Politics is full of sudden U-turns and strategic reunions. A few high-level meetings, some concessions on mining policy, maybe a promise of government investment in job creation, that could be enough to bring NUM back into the fold. But right now, the public nature of this split makes a quiet reunion less likely. Both sides have made their positions clear, and backtracking could make them look weak. The big question now is, where will NUM's support go? If they choose to partner with another party, the ripple effects could be significant. A collaboration with the EFF could bolster the latter's influence in mining regions, while support for a smaller labor-oriented party could create a new political player entirely. Either way, the ANC would face tougher competition in areas where they've historically been untouchable. There's also the cultural and historical angle. The ANC-NUM alliance wasn't just about elections, it was rooted in shared struggle. To see it end like this is a reminder that political loyalty has limits, especially when voters and union members feel that promises have been broken. South Africans have become more willing to shift their support when they feel betrayed, and this could be another example of that shift in action. So, what's next? We'll be watching closely for signs of whether other unions will follow NUM's lead. If COSATU affiliates or other mining unions start to distance themselves from the ANC, it could mark the beginning of a larger exodus. On the flip side, if the ANC can repair this rift, it might just prove that they still have the ability to listen, adapt, and rebuild trust. Either way, the loss of NUM is not just a bad headline for the ANC, it's a warning shot. In the run-up to 2026, every percentage point of support matters, and losing thousands of organized, politically active workers is no small thing. That's the story for today, and it's one that will almost certainly have more chapters in the months to come. If you enjoyed this breakdown, remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more political commentary, and share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think NUM made the right decision to walk away from the ANC? And will this trigger a wave of other unions following suit? Thanks for watching, and as always, see you next time.